Is Raven Johnson the next big thing for South Carolina? Maybe, but she has a lot more work to do. Raven Johnson, the number 2 overall recruit from the 2021 class, the 5'8" Atlanta player who had all the accolades, 4-time Georgia State champion, WBCA High School Player of the Year, and much more. So lots of accolades, but there are a lot of people around the country that know Raven Johnson primarily as the girl that Caitlin waved off in the Final Four due to her inability to actually shoot from the 3. But there's so much more about Raven Johnson that we are going to get into. This particular video is a commenter's requested video. So shout out to the commenter who requested this video. If you all want more videos about very particular things, let me know. If you want player profiles or whatever type of videos you want, let me know in the comments and I would try my best to make that video. In this video, we are going to talk about who Raven Johnson is and kind of how she's gotten to where she is today, the injury that she dealt with her true freshman year. And I'm going to talk about what she is good at, what she can work on, and overall just give a general opinion about Raven Johnson as a player. Raven Johnson is a 5'8" or 5'9", depending on what sources you're looking at, sophomore point guard at South Carolina. And she was a baller in high school. She was the Naismith High School Player of the Year. She was also the first girl ever to play in a boys All-American game. Like, that's kind of cool. She played in the 2021 Iverson Classic. And as I mentioned at the top, Raven was the number 2 recruit in 2021, behind only UConn's AZ Fudd. And if you remember, Raven was a part of a monster pickup by Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks in 2021. Also in her class that went to South Carolina was number 3 Sanaya Rivers, who has left South Carolina for NC State. Also in the class was number 4 Sanaya Fagan and number 14 Bree Hall, who are both still with the Gamecocks. When Raven was brought on to this team, it was expected that she would play some, but that she would mainly sit on the bench and learn from vets like Destiny Henderson and Zia Cook. And that's what she did. Though she did hit a wrinkle in just her second game with South Carolina. After just 1 minute of play, Raven Johnson tore her ACL. Now, this was a huge bummer to Raven because she had a lot of promise. You heard her high school stats. And so we were expecting to see her, yes, play behind the vets, but have moments to shine as a true freshman. But that did not happen. With that injury, her true freshman season was over. And discussing her injury, Raven said, "God allows things to happen for a reason. I trust in him and I know he has my back. This is a minor setback for a major comeback. You will see Raven Hollywood Johnson again. The comeback is always stronger than the setback." And for the rest of that season, we didn't see Raven on the court. However, she did get a chance to sit on the sideline and watch her teammates win the national championship. So if you're wondering why Raven Johnson this upcoming year is a sophomore, that's because of that injury. She was a true freshman in 2021. However, last season was her redshirt freshman year, and now in this season, she is in her redshirt sophomore year. So that's why, because she basically missed the entire 21-22 season with her injury. So this past season was officially her redshirt freshman year. And Raven, of course, worked her way back and started this past season as mainly Zia Cook's understudy in a way. Though later in the season, her and Zia Cook did actually play in the game at the same time. Raven Johnson gave some really solid minutes last season. She played around 18 minutes a game. She actually did start, I believe, 2 games she started last season, and she was solid. Especially as a freshman coming off of injury, she played pretty well. And one thing that I really enjoyed about Raven Johnson's game last season was her ability to pass the ball. She's one of those true point guards that can find their teammate kind of whenever. When it came to fast break passes, post entry passes, threading the needle passes, Raven showed that she can do it. Of course, there's room for her to grow and improve as a passer, but it's evident that she has a natural skill to pass the ball. Last season, Raven averaged 3.4 assists a game. So passing wise, she's very good. Now let's talk about her defense. So for defense, I think Raven is solid. She has a knack for stealing the ball, and she doesn't make herself a liability on D, which to me is a key way to stay on the court even if your shot is not falling. And speaking of shots, let's talk about Raven Johnson's shooting. So Raven Johnson so far has not shown that she can shoot the ball. Sure, she can get to the basket and score, and occasionally she can make a jumper, and even more seldomly she can make a three-pointer. But she didn't really seem comfortable shooting at all last season, especially outside the paint. And that's really something that she needs to work on, because last year she struggled. She averaged 4 points a game on 37% shooting from the field and a dismal 24% shooting from the three. And this leads us back to where we started with that Iowa game where Caitlin Clark dared Raven Johnson to shoot. And Raven Johnson basically refused for a long time. And I remember watching that game and being like, come on, girl, shoot the ball, do something. It was like Raven was just sort of like kind of dribbling kind of three-point line. And Caitlin's like, I know you can't shoot, whatever. Go on, do whatever you gonna do, you know? And that was embarrassing. It really was, to see Caitlin do that. But it was smart, because Caitlin knew that Raven Johnson is not a good shooter, especially from range. So Raven Johnson was basically dared to shoot the ball, and eventually she actually did shoot a couple of threes. Though, to be fair, in that Final Four game against Iowa, Raven Johnson actually had, I think, basically her best three-point shooting night of her entire college career so far. She was actually 50% from the three, which is not bad at all, especially considering how she shot the rest of the season. But it is very clear that Raven Johnson does not seem comfortable as a shooter. Yes, she's comfortable getting to the basket and scoring. To me, that doesn't really seem like a problem. But it's shooting jumpers, it's shooting threes that she just doesn't seem that comfortable with. And when it comes to being a viable WNBA prospect, Raven needs a shot. She really does. Even if she gets to like 35% shooting from the three, that's going to be huge for her, because, as I said, she is a very good passer. So if you add on, great passer with, solid defense and a solid shooter, not an elite shooter. I don't think she has to. Of course, it'd be good if she became an elite shooter, but I don't think she has to do that. I think she just needs to get a decent shot, and seem comfortable shooting. I think that would be huge for her. This upcoming year, I want to see her develop that. I really do. Yes, her passing is great, as I said, but this season, she's going to be the starting point guard. And Don is going to need her to score the basketball, and, not just, be an elite passer that can get to the rim and score. No, she's going to need to be able to shoot threes and jumpers, because smart defenders will pack in the paint and dare Raven Johnson to shoot. But to be fair, Raven Johnson was not the only player that was dared to shoot in that Iowa game. There were other players from South Carolina that were dared to shoot, and clearly it wasn't just Raven that kind of struggled with it. Though Raven was a little bit more efficient ultimately when she started shooting them, she's not a consistent 3-point shooter, nor was really anybody on the South Carolina Gamecocks, which is why Iowa was able to win and make it to the championship game. Overall, I think Raven Johnson is a solid player. She isn't the best thing since sliced bread, which I feel like there's a significant amount of South Carolina fans who are saying that. They're like, oh, Raven Johnson is amazing. She's going to be so great this upcoming year. Y'all just watch all this stuff. And I think she's a good player, but I don't think she's just this amazing player. Like her accolades in high school are phenomenal. They are. And she's the number two recruit. That's nothing to sneeze at all. But from what I've seen from last season with South Carolina, also looking at the AmeriCup games that she played in, I think she's a solid player. I don't think she's like the best thing ever. I don't. I would love for her to prove me wrong, but like I have not seen this elite player that I feel like some of the South Carolina fans are making it seem like she is. But that being said, I also don't think Raven Johnson's trash. She's a very solid player. She's not a scrub. She's a player that is good enough to start for South Carolina, which when it's all said and done, likely will be in the Final Four. Or at least the Elite Eight this upcoming year. She's a great passer. She's a good defender. And she's a not so good shooter, which is something that she really needs to improve on. I think key for her is being able to consistently knock down shots. And if she can do that, not only does it help her personal stats, but I think it prevents South Carolina's opponents from doing what Iowa did to them. And it allows more room for Camila Cardoso to work. So, for example, if Raven Johnson is a threat from three, her defender is going to be on her, which means that maybe she can, she's kind of quick, I would say. She can drive by her defender, get to the paint, and then dump it off to Cardoso. Like, that's an opportunity. But that's not possible if her defender is like way sagged off of her and sort of partway in the paint because they know that Raven Johnson can't shoot. If Raven Johnson develops a shot, she can be a very dangerous player. She really can. Because, as I said, her passing is very, very good, especially as a freshman. I thought there were times, or redshirt freshman last year. There were times last year when I was like, oh, wow. Okay, girl. She can she can thread the needle with her passes. And of course, there's of course still room to improve on her passing, but like she has a knack for it. It feels natural. And if she can get a shot, that will complement it so much because that'll give her more assists and of course also, help her shooting percentage as well. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts about Raven Johnson. What do you all think about my overall conclusion about her? Do you agree or disagree? I would love to know your thoughts. And also, I hope that people don't think this is a bashing of Raven Johnson. I think she's solid. I think there's just stuff that she needs to improve on. Mainly her offensive shooting. So that's that. I would love to know what you all think about Raven Johnson. Do you think she is the best thing since sliced bread? Do you think, yeah, she's pretty solid? Or do you think, not that great? Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them. We are very, very close to the NCAA season starting up. And I have a bunch of college videos planned. But I do want to know if you have a suggestion of a video that I should make. Let me know in the comments section what video you would love to see specifically about the upcoming NCAA season. As this video proves, I do try my best to kind of take your suggestions into consideration and try to make those videos. So give a suggestion, and who knows, I may just make a video about whatever you want me to make a video about. All right, guys, that's basically the video. I am waiting for South Carolina to officially release their non-conference schedule. But when they do, I will make a video about that. I also have other non-conference schedules to put out from just other teams. I think my goal is probably going to be to do at least 10 or 11 non-conference schedules of the teams that I think are going to be sort of the most impactful this upcoming year. Of course, there's a lot of teams, so I'm not going to make a non-conference schedule about every single team, but some of the top teams that I see, I'll make a video about them. If there's other teams that you want me to make a non-conference schedule video about, let me know, and I will try my best to make that happen. If you haven't liked this video already, I would ask for you to please like this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. We are almost at 5,000 subscribers, and the crowd goes wild. 5,000 subscribers, like almost, not there yet. So I'm not gonna count my chickens until they hatch, but like, I'm very grateful for all the awesome people who listen to my videos, to the people who like my videos, people who comment, for the people who subscribe. I really appreciate it. This really is a great outlet for me to just talk about the women's basketball game. Like, I love women's basketball. I watch a ton of women's basketball, and now I have folks that I can just talk to about my thoughts. And sometimes you all agree with me. Sometimes you all like can't stand what I have to say. But I'm here for it all. And I really, really appreciate everybody who is a part of this community, because honestly, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a community of women's basketball fans on YouTube, for us to just get together and talk about what's going on and argue and share our points and discuss, and ultimately just increase awareness about women's basketball. So if that is something that you are interested in, I would ask you to join the community of people and, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments, subscribe to this channel, like this video. And I really do appreciate y'all. Like, truly, y'all are really, really awesome. And I'm just so grateful that you all are rocking with me, some random person who you've never met, but who share a common love for the women's basketball game. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all have an excellent rest of your day. And until next time, guys.